How's it, everyone? We are the Joystick Show. Your three favorite friends from Hawaii are back to talk story about the latest things we've read, watched, or played. We'll share our shtick with you, so thanks for sticking around. If you fancy what you hear, please like and subscribe on the platform you frequent because, it'd really help us out. We'd really appreciate it. I'm your co-host, Drake. That's Thomas.
What up, what up? We are back. Actually back.
Nice, and that's Scott.
How's it?
Ooh, both of you guys are back from your trips, so let me give you a little bit of a rundown of what we're going to be talking about today. We've got the Fantastic Four casting. We're going to talk a little bit about how Barbie already hit $1 billion and that double B's. The Continental trailer just dropped, so you'll get to hear what we think about that. And in our review section today, we're going to get into some Oppenheimer, some Haunted Mansion, and some latest in the TMNT Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But first, let's talk about, I want to say, your 5-star experiences with your airlines on your trips.
Oh my God. I'm assuming Scott's
Not
trip
as
was
bad
better
as
than mine.
Tom's, yeah. I'm just like a taller person that, stuck in like coach. So it's just uncomfortable. Couldn't recline my seat.
Wow, that sounds terrible.
Bro,
oh, jeez.
I gotta get it in before
so
Thomas
sad
goes.
for you.
really let it sink in and get uncomfortable for a second. And then layover for like, an hour, but then it got pushed to 2. Okay, and then
wow, that's more than 1 hour.
That was
man.
going,
That's
and
rough.
then coming back. No, it was a layover, but it was on time. And then the seat going to Hawaii, I was up against the window like this, like Mr. Incredible in his small car. But I was watching From that show From season 2, and it got me through it. Yeah, so pretty tough. Pretty
all
tough.
I can say is I am never flying American Airlines. Ever.
Oh.
I would rather spend $500 more on another flight than fly American Airlines, because this past weekend I lived in an airport. It was so damn bad. Man, it was crazy.
You're like Tom Hanks?
Yeah, pretty much.
Please.
What was that movie? Yeah, what is it? The Terminal?
The Terminal. I love that movie. Yeah.
Oh my God. It almost was that point. It was crazy. I mean, so many delays, so many cancellations. To get there, it took 36 hours. A delay. I had to stay overnight in Philly. They didn't give us a complimentary hotel or transportation or anything. Got there at midnight, went to sleep at 1, had to wake up at 5 to get back for another flight. And when I got there, they still lost my bag. So thank you, American. Appreciate it.
Yeah. If you could fly Singaporean, I've never had a bad experience on Singapore Airlines. I've only ever had 2 meals and lots of snacks. So,
Where do they fly? Everywhere?
Singapore?
Singapore?
In state?
Yeah, where
Is it just out of? It sounds like
I'm pretty
it's
sure
just
it's just
international.
international. But
okay. I was like,
But
sure, yeah.
yeah.
I would rather take Singapore Airlines, fly to Singapore, and then fly to wherever I'm going next than take American Airlines again.
I mean, you would have had 4 straight meals, just snacks.
Oh,
Snacks on snacks.
already
well
sounds
fed.
better.
Yeah, dude, Singapore, dude. Unlimited
some-
movies. What?
Unfortunately, some people are not doing better, and it's the people on Maui. Thoughts and prayers for them.
Arohana.
Yeah, I
sure.
think you guys probably know a little bit more information, but we'll add what we can in the show notes to kind of donate and support. Again, thoughts and prayers to all the families, all the ohana out there that's dealing with this right now. It looks absolutely brutal. It hasn't directly affected my family, but in terms of like work and business, it has. So we're already seeing some crazy stuff. And if there's anybody who's badly burned out there, definitely, if you and when you get through this, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you. This is Thomas. Definitely reach out. But yeah, anything you guys want to add to that?
Nope. Thoughts and prayers, man. I mean, that's all we can do right now. And click the links for donations if you are able to. But yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to bring it back around and talk about something that was catching the internet on fire. That's not a good joke.
Damn, too soon, dude.
Frick, I didn't even mean... I was
Thoughts and prayers to
thinking,
Maui, guys.
God dang it. I was actually thinking of the Human Torch. I
I
wasn't
know.
thinking of Maui. I'm sorry. But Human Torch, we got some rumored casting, and we got probably some confirmed casting for Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, with the girl from Mission Impossible. I want to say Vanessa Kirby. What is it, Scott?
It is Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah. So it looks like Vanessa Kirby is playing Invisible Woman, and what is the guy from Stranger Things?
Joseph
Dylan.
Quinn.
Oh,
Joseph Quinn, yeah, who played Eddie from Stranger Things. It was awesome. How do we feel about this casting? I know that there's some other rumors. Matt Smith potentially being Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, and what is it, Iban Mas Bakrak as potentially Silver Surfer or The Thing. What do you guys think about any of this casting?
I really enjoyed Joseph Quinn in Stranger Things. I think that's all I'm really familiar with in his regard, but I really enjoyed his portrayal in that character. It was a character I didn't think I'd like really care about as much as like the main cast, and it like for whatever reason, I every time he popped on screen, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy. So if he's a part of it, that'd be great. I'd love to see more of this dude. I'm not as
Do you think
familiar with Vanessa Kirby though, but
Yeah, do you think he has the right look? Do you think he has like Johnny Storm is always like the super good looking, kind of cocky, he knows. I mean, he was originally played in TV or I guess in the movies by Chris Evans. And
Right.
do you think Joseph Quinn has that look?
I
Michael
think
B.
what he
Jordan.
could do is bring. It seems like he just based on like his role he did in Stranger Things, and then interviews you see him outside. Like he's like nowhere near that dude in Stranger Things, but I totally believe he was that guy. Like he kind of
Yeah.
seems like a chameleon type of actor. I could totally see him just like embodying whatever sort of charm or whatever he needs to put on that's gonna add that extra like attractiveness that he may need to
Yeah.
have for that sort of role. That's yeah, but
yeah.
I agree.
I
I,
can see
like that
that.
take. Yeah, I think the same thing. What about you, Drake?
I was gonna make a funny joke about Vanessa Kirby. We talked about how she's gonna play the Invisible Woman, and that's true because we don't know what else she's from. Heyo.
Yeah, I have
But,
seen her in one other thing. I
She's
don't.
been in things, but
She has. Yeah, I don't know if you guys had
general.
her IMDb pulled up, but she was in Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
I mean,
The
yeah,
Crown.
definitely has the right look. I'll say that. She's beautiful. I mean, she seems like a natural blonde. Like, she also has this very like commanding presence. And if you go back to the comics, like Sue Storm actually has better stories than what we got with Jessica Alba. I want to say, which I
True,
never, I love Jessica Alba for obvious reasons, but I never was a fan of her as Sue Storm. Like I think this girl already has an edge on what we saw out of Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
she was in The Crown. Like I haven't watched that show, but I know people who really love it because that's what you said, Drake. Right? She was in The Crown. Yeah. So just making that show, I feel like you got to be good. And then I'm sure she did great in Mission Impossible. Like that's a pretty
Yeah.
pretty
The
big movie.
the way I feel about the cast overall is like I kind of need to see them be together, and I need to see how their dynamic works. I think with the other Fantastic Fours, it kind of worked okay because they were all kind of like larger stars for the time, so it kind of seemed like a big team up movie. But this is what seems like it's going to be a lot more story driven and show me driven based on the fact of who they casted. They're not necessarily like archetypes of the things we would normally see in this like high budget of a movie, if that makes sense historically.
I was really trying to follow you. I'm not quite sure what you mean, but
They're
So
just
like
less
wait, go-
known, right? Like so.
yeah, they're like less known. It's not like it's Chris Evans and Jessica Alba and other big name and other big name. It's like three actors that have done certain things and are known for certain things,
Yeah.
but not necessarily for being like Ryan Reynolds or Blondie
right,
Blue
like
Blue.
not based on the name alone. I
Yeah.
agree. I actually, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I actually like that because I would rather them get bigger actors. Like the Fantastic Four, I think is a big enough superhero team that people will go see it if they want to check
Yeah.
that out. And if you just have insane actors along with it, I think we're going to be gold. Especially if you get a Matt Smith. I think Matt Smith has now become a household name from what was he in originally, like Doctor Who or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's also
Doctor
in
Who.
Game of Thrones and all that jazz, eh?
Yeah, and then now Game of Thrones, and then he was in Morbius and had like one of the most iconic parts of it, which I never finished that movie. I'm not gonna lie, I tried several times. I wanted to get to the dancing part. That movie sucked.
Wow.
Yeah. That maybe don't mention Morbius for Matt Smith.
right.
He's a good actor, but
Yeah, Matt Smith is a great actor. So,
well, that was a good example though of like having a good actor, but if the story and the dialogue is crap, then it could make them look like crap. So, I'm really hoping the story in this is really strong, because if it's a really strong story, then it gives like more meat for these actors to work with and like really get into.
Yeah.
And
The story has to be strong because of their casting is a lot more artistic than it is like for entertainment value, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last one, Cousin. Again, I don't know him. I don't know how he'll do as Silver Surfer. Based on the way he talks and everything, I could see him doing a really good The Thing.
Yeah,
You know, he kind
more
of
so.
has that, like, he's not, it sounds more Chicago to me than it sounds New York, but, you know, I think he's Jewish, which is a big part of The Thing's origin story. And so,
Do you want
man,
to
I've
see
loved him
them-
in everything.
Do you want to see a Silver Surfer, considering our last Silver Surfer was very CG-esque?
I do, and I
Yeah.
think it connects to the Galactus of it all, and eventually Fantastic Four fighting them. But I think I'd rather see Cousin, especially
Yeah.
if you watch this last season of The Bear. I would rather see him as the Thing,
The Thing, yeah.
than Silver Surfer. But I
Do you
mean,
think they'll practical effect Silver Surfer? Like actually have like a silver person? They're gonna CG that guy out.
it's gonna be like a Muppet, I think. Jim
Yeah.
Henson style.
Let's go. Get in there, Jim Henson.
yeah, it's gonna be stop motion.
Yeah.
But
That'd be sick.
no, I
should-
I
it might
think
as
I
well be.
could. I could see him being an awesome thing. So awesome stuff. I really hope most of this is true. Yeah, I liked all of it. If those all come to be true, I'm for it. I think it's dope. The other thing is we got a new trailer for the Continental set in the John Wick universe. It looks like a period piece about how the Continental was started. What'd you guys think?
Looks cool. I mean, speaking of like actors who are kind of unknown, at least to us at the moment, the guy who's playing young Winston, I haven't really seen him in anything before.
Okay.
At least me in particular. Maybe I gotta really dive into him. But
Yeah, I don't know.
it looks like a cool show. It's set in the 1970s. We saw Mel Gibson in it, so that's like a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
name.
yeah.
He looks
but
like
all
the
the
villain
action-
too, which is fitting.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, granted, it seems like he's kind of revealed himself to be like a really wacky type of dude. But I always liked his acting though. So
Oh yeah, totally.
I'm sure he'll still be great in it.
I mean,
but
he's
it looks cool.
joined the ranks of Nicolas Cage, of John Travolta now. They kind of all seem to be pretty eccentric in their old age with all of their millions and millions and millions. So
Yeah.
why not make him some weirdo villain?
Yeah, who's probably rich in this as
Yeah.
well. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be rich if you want to fight John Wick, or else what are you doing?
Yeah, it's Young Wick.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Young Wick. Young
Right.
Wick, such a great rap name, dog. Young Wick.
Dude, true.
Dude.
Yeah, that is a sick rap name.
Shoots on the mic. It's
Give us credit if you take that. But yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like a fun period piece. I like that they have to kind of retake the Continental to set it up, and they have to fight their way through it. That one, I think, was a John Wick 2 where they have to battle him and that black guy who was the attendant for it. And they keep
Yeah.
going in and getting more guns, and they have to
Yeah.
fight in the lot. That was so sick. So seeing more of it, more battles in the Continental, I'm super about
That
it.
was pretty fun.
Yeah.
There was some images in the trailer that looked like it was like before times, like in the olden days, like before the 70s.
Oh,
So
I didn't catch
I
that.
was curious. I was like, is that just a thing that they would show based on the fact of like the history of, this League of Assassins, or if it was just meant to backstory on maybe a character? So that kind of interested me. Or I
Yeah.
just saw things that I didn't really see. I don't know.
I mean,
Happens
because
to
it's
me all
gonna be
the
like a
time.
3-part series, right? Or something. I think that's what I
yep,
said in,
yep.
in the
And
commercial.
I
So
think on Peacock too.
Peacock, yeah. So it's gonna be longer than the 2-hour run. So it's probably obviously gonna focus on like young Winston and maybe a particular thing he's dealing with at the time. But it
Looks
would
like he
be
has
a
a
good
brother.
opportunity. What was that?
It looks like he has a brother, and there's like some type of brother story there.
Oh, okay, okay. But it would be a good opportunity to dive into like even further back, like because the Continental looks like it's already established,
Yeah.
maybe a little more Wild West at this time, but
Wiki wow.
Wild Wild West. But and then maybe they
That was
talk
good.
about like the beginning of it. That'd be cool. Them building it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm on board. I love John Wick. Super about it, and yeah, just that time period and everything with the music and the action. It looks sick. Last thing, Barbie has hit a billy.
I'm a Barbie girl.
One Billy, one Billy, one Billy.
There you go. Yeah, man. Such a good movie. I'm so happy that it's being received as well it is. There is a lot of incel, insecure dudes online that are bashing it. That's my take on it. I think if you have a small PP syndrome, you can't handle the jokes. But I
Don't
thought
body
it was
shame,
hilarious.
man. Don't body shame.
Hey, I'm not body. Hey, if you run, but if you, I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about if you got small PP energy. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay,
PP
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
energy.
yeah. What is that like LD? If you got LDE, this I can understand why you may not like it. I loved it. I thought it was great. Me and Christina really dug it. I want to go see it again. But yeah, any thoughts on Barbie hitting $1 billion?
Good to hear.
Good to
That's
hear.
awesome. Yeah.
It's a good precedent to set, I think, for filmmaking in the industry, and also too, it kind of helps with the defeat of the U.S. women's national team in the round of 16.
You had to sneak that in there,
yeah,
huh? You're just about that women's
squeak it
national team right now.
over there.
Yeah.
But,
for,
I mean-
for those of you unaware, we're talking about soccer.
Yes, and we're cheering for Japan because we're all Japanese.
Hey yo.
Yeah.
So, but to get back to the point of, I really don't remember what the point was.
You just wanted to sneak that in there and then
Just wanted to
Women's
sneak that in.
national team, am I right?
nothing after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
No,
But,
yeah,
but
it's a fun movie. I really enjoyed a lot about it. The jokes landed for me. The meta aspects of it I thought were really well done.
yeah, costumes were great.
Costuming was great. The whole theme and concepts of it I thought were
Yeah.
really well done. Margot Robbie gets to shine in so many levels too.
For
And
real,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
yeah, and
Very-
actually you just got to watch it recently, right, Drake? What was
Yeah.
your thoughts on Barbie as a whole?
Margot, well, in specific, Margot's acting, she was able to show range in the entirety of the movie,
Agreed.
which you don't normally get to do when you're doing like a AAA movie like that. But I could see where males, and I put that in like quotes, would get super upset about certain things, just because it pushes up against the idea of men being in that position. It kind of unveiled like how men aren't necessarily as able to be vulnerable, right? And when they are, they're viewed a certain way. And with the women, decidedly on kind of pushing Kenaway, we don't need men in our lives. We can do kind of everything for ourselves and still be prosperous. Like that kind of thing you want to be seeing, because that's the kind of environment you want your daughters to grow up in, thinking that they can do those things, right? So there's a lot
Yeah.
of pros to that movie. I can see where people would get like, ooh, but that's only because it's in the politics of the current, and everybody's kind of really quick to pick a side and stick to it when there's, I think, a little bit more important things to worry about. But
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, like, yeah, my thing coming out of it is like, why does this is supposed to be entertainment and escapism? Why does
know.
all of these things have to be
It's a fucking movie, dog.
politically? Yeah, like I
Yeah,
don't care. Like I don't care about the politics. Do I like the movie? Did I think it was funny? Did I enjoy
Yeah.
the acting? Did I enjoy the story? Those are the things I think I care about the most. I don't really give a shit about the politics of it all. I just liked it because I liked it,
Yeah.
And and there's a lot of aspects in it too where it was like, hey, listen, it's okay to be a man, but you don't have to feel like you can't show emotions, or you don't you can't, let somebody else take the lead for a change. It was like, those are things that it's also nice for us too. We don't always, as men, I should say, it might be different from a woman's perspective, but it's like, me personally, I don't want to feel like I have to make every single decision and that there's so much pressure. Like sometimes it's, letting go my ego enough to say, hey, a woman can step in, make a decision, she could be in charge, and that doesn't diminish me as a man. I think is a great theme, but that's just how I feel about it. Scott, you haven't been able to watch Barbie yet, right?
No, I haven't, but I've only heard good things about it, and it's kind of funny hearing you guys mention those things. It's always funny, like when people feel like they need to, like, man, I went in to have a good time, and they're trying to change the way I think, or it's like it's like a self attack, like they knew you'd be there. Like, talk to your dad, or something. It's just like so ridiculous. Like, it's whatever. I also grew up in a household where, mostly raised by my mom, and then a lot of like just strong women in my household. So like, I got no problem with like being around strong women. So
yeah,
I got no real ego there. But I don't get that whole thing. But I am excited to watch it. It's exciting that it's made that much money thus far. And especially for Margot Robbie, like leading this project and like working hard to make it happen. I know she was like really pushing for Harley Quinn in that same way to like, be her thing and make it more than just like what people think it might be. And I feel like that didn't go as far as this did. And
this shouldn't be a hot take, but I liked Birds of Prey. Like, I didn't mind it. Like, I know the internet hates it, but I'm like, I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was that bad.
My take is I liked her in Birds of Prey.
Yeah, agree.
True.
I agree with that
Okay.
statement.
I also like Black Canary, but it's because I like Journey Smollett. Like,
Right.
Yeah, I think it's
there was just like if we go real quick in that, there was just a mix of like not as strong actors and like really strong actors. She shined in that, which was really great. I loved everything that she did in that movie. So I mean, it's good. It's everything she's been in. I feel like has been really strong, and it's awesome to hear that the whole cast was able to pull their weight as well. So I'm definitely excited to watch it.
Yeah, man. And there was a lot of rumors, or not rumors, but just like things going on online. The narrative was movies are dead, no one's going there, and then boom, back to back in the same week, Barbenheimer, both movies explode.
That's so crazy.
Literally.
Yeah, pun intended.
Usually one suffers.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like good to show that, a good movie the same weekend, even, not genre depending, can still work, but be a good movie. So that was I thought that was very positive, man. I was like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, people still are interested, but you got to make good shit. You can't just throw whatever out there and expect us to just love it. It's not going to be that. So
You can't rely on the property and then just half-ass a script or something. Like,
Exactly.
It's all got to be good. Yeah.
Exactly. Drake, what did you feel about Ryan Gosling's Ken? Or how did you feel about it?
I liked it. He was definitely broody, but I felt his pain. Like all he wanted to do was be with that chick, and
Yeah.
that chick is just all about herself, which is completely fine. But you're bumming out, right? It's sad. You just want to be all up in it, You want to stay over the night. It can't.
But you say
it's
all
girls
up in
night
it,
every
but
night.
they're like,
Yeah.
we don't have those parts.
Exactly. But
the
you
end.
start by dry humping, so I've heard. And I think
Sure do.
Can't tell if this is in the movie or just like your own
You
scenario.
gotta find
making
out.
up.
You gotta
you gotta
go watch
find out,
it, Scott.
You
I gotta
go
watch it.
You got the pink
Yeah.
cup. Like, come on.
Yeah, I showed. It's funny. So Christine and I haven't seen it yet, but with these movies coming out now, sometimes they have cool merch that come along with it. And the Barbie cup came out, and she saw it. She's like, "I gotta get this cup." And we were looking at our schedule. We weren't able to kind of line up when to go see it yet, but she just kind of went off on her own to the movie theater just to buy the cup and then
Wow.
like go back.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah,
Where's
so
it like
she-
again?
I don't have it physically here because it's gonna be her like it's at
we'll
work
post it to
now.
the
It's her
story.
market.
Oh, yeah,
But yeah.
okay.
Send us a picture.
Yeah.
Post it to
I'll
our
post this.
Instagram. But yeah, dude, the merch for Barbie, I'm not gonna lie, has been sick.
Yeah.
Like they've dropped some shoes for it. I'm not gonna lie, there's a hoodie that Ken wears in the movie. It's like a tie-dye hoodie, and it says "I'm Ken Nuff" like enough, but with
Oh
a
yeah.
K
Oh
in
yeah. No,
front.
I saw that shit.
Oh,
I
that's
fucking
cool.
want that so bad.
I got it.
Oh,
It's
you got that
coming.
Oh,
shit?
for
I
real?
bought it.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah. It's in the
God.
mail, son. I was like, that's
That
too
sounds
dope.
awesome. I don't even know what it looks like, but
That's
that
Oh
so
my
sounds
God.
fucking funny, dude.
Also,
Canada.
one day, Scott, you'll be invited to the what is it? The oh shoot, I totally had it in my brain and I just botched it. The Casa Dojo House.
Oh, Casa Dojo House.
What's
Yeah,
that?
dude.
What is that? What it is? Dang it! Now we totally botched it, man.
The Dojo. It's the Dojo Casa. Yeah, the Dojo Casa House.
Something like that. I think we're missing a word, but man, so funny. There's a
Mojo
part
Dojo
there.
Casa House.
Mojo Dojo Casa House. Just Mojo
Yeah, that's
Dojo
fucking
being
great.
back in the zeitgeist makes me so happy.
Kennergy. Oh my God.
Yeah, big energy in the movie.
Oh, they're filled with stereotypically broy things. This is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. They're super into horses.
Yeah, dude. The show is so funny.
Yeah, they're like just random sports on. He had like saloon doors put on the Barbie house for no reason. Just hilarious shit like that. Yeah, Hummers everywhere. So, yeah,
course.
there was some funny shit in that movie. And I'd say if you go in with an open mind, you'll take something away from it. Like you should enjoy it. If you feel personally attacked, I think personally you should look at the mirror and see what it is about that is bothering you. Because there's a lot of shit in it that made me laugh.
Yeah,
But,
for sure, for
that's my
sure.
2 cents. Scott, you got to see something very cool, and you got to see it in the way
It
Christopher
was
Nolan
intended to.
Yes, intended
Yeah.
to. 11-mile long, 70 millimeter IMAX showing of Oppenheimer. Dude, tell us about Oppenheimer.
In Missouri.
Yeah, in Missouri. It was, man, it was good. It was good to be able to go and see like just a good serious film. I love a good drama, but honestly, it's been a while since I've been to the theaters to watch one. We're all nerds and we check out the latest Marvel, DC, what have you movies, and if usually I have to pick, and I usually end up leaning that way. But yeah, Oppenheimer, it was like so awesome to see in theaters. I think one thing above all else that like really just kind of stood out extra was the utilization of sound that Christopher Nolan does.
Definitely.
Man, I felt like it was really smart because like I know he's a really big advocate for like keeping the movie theaters alive, which I am too. You know, like he's like people need to experience movies in a theater, and like what better way to do that than to be like, you know what, I'm gonna make the experience like so good that it'll be less of an experience if you watch it at home. Like you can watch it at home, but it's not gonna be the best.
Right.
Because man, when that bomb goes off, really interesting because you think the sound's gonna happen right away, which is a little jarring at first. But then when you finally get that sound, like I was like, I didn't know the speakers went that loud in these theaters. Like it was
Yeah.
amazing. And like seeing it on a big IMAX, we don't really have one in Hawaii. It was cool to be in one again. I felt like that was the way to do it. So good, that movie, and the actors are amazing, and like yeah, the 3 hours blew by. Like
Haha, see what you did
yeah.
there.
Heyo.
Yeah, ooh, radiation. But the only thing was, I'm so spoiled with those reclining seats now. Like
Yeah.
the IMAXs still have the regular stadium style seats, like more comfortable, but
That's true.
stadium style. And like after I found myself like shifting a lot.
Yeah. It's like going to a
Like, so
professional
spoiled.
game. Like those seats are not comfortable, you
Yeah.
know, but you do it because it's part of the experience. But 100%, I thought the same thing with Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody has their time to shine in it too, which is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Like even if they have the smallest of roles, it feels like they contribute to the movie. And I'm thinking of like, what's his name, Josh Peck from Drake and
Yeah.
Josh. Jack Quaid is in it for like a
Yep.
split second. But
Cast here.
Matt Damon really doesn't have that much time, but what he adds to the movie is massive. You know,
Was it Rami Malek is in it too, right?
oh
Like,
yeah,
a
Rami
little bit?
Malek, yeah.
Yeah, Rami
I
Malek.
think that's how you
Josh
say it.
Hartnett. I was like, oh, Josh is in there.
Josh,
Like,
I'm
I
so
just saw him in
happy
Black
to be
Mirror. I was like,
Josh Hartnett
sick.
again.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I was thinking of the Black Mirror too. But yeah, man, he just does such a good job, and it just we obviously still have Steven Spielberg, but I would say in this generation, within the last 15 years, I would say Christopher Nolan is one of those directors that everything he touches seems to be pretty damn good.
Yeah,
It's pretty amazing. Like, even for people who didn't really love Tenet, like I went back, I've watched Tenet 3 times just to try to figure out all the concepts. And once it clicks for you, you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this is incredible. The level of detail, the thought that he puts into it, you're like, fuck, man, how could you think of something like that? So just a legendary director in his own right, but the thought process that goes into the movies and the writing is so crazy, man. So yeah, I'm so happy Cillian Murphy gets to be the lead in this and gets to like finally take a lead in a Christopher Nolan movie. I think he's well more deserved. He's deserved it for a long time and just hasn't had that opportunity, I feel like, and it's just awesome that
Oh shit.
he's killed it, because he's awesome. Peaky Blinders, I mean, he's really awesome in a lot of things, but
So like
he's so
like
good.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
Vincent
it was nice,
D'Onofrio?
especially when you're
Vincent D'Onofrio, call back.
Heyo.
when he's sharing the screen a lot with like Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Robert Downey Jr. These are all people that you've seen more so take like the leads in maybe the movies you've seen in the last maybe 10 years or something.
Yeah.
How do you say his name?
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
I loved him in Scarecrow, and then Peaky Blinders. He was great, but like other than that, like I know he's a great actor. I just maybe I wasn't looking hard enough. I haven't seen him in a lot of things, so it was cool to see him as a lead next to all these like crazy actors that could very well have been that the lead there. But
Yeah.
also, it was nice to see. I don't know how to say his name correctly, his last name, but Matthias Schweighöfer or whatever. He was Heisenberg.
I don't,
I probably just like
does he like so botched? I don't even know what you were trying to say.
Just like glance over the fact that you murdered his name.
at least I prefaced it.
I
And
wish
you're
I
like,
don't know
or whatever.
I'm considering looping this in the audio version just how bad.
Oh my
Let's
fucking
skip over.
God,
Gary
dude.
Oldman was in this. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so
But okay, the guy played Heisenberg. Remember he was in that. Oh, look it up. He's great. Well done.
sick, dude.
I don't even know who he was.
How do
in
you
the
say his
movie.
name? Look it up.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna trust you on that one.
Oh gosh. Okay. In the chat,
Oh man, good shit.
Crazy.
Do you know how to say his name, guys?
Robert Downey Jr.? Because what did you think about him?
Oh yeah, he was great. Robert Downey Jr.
Wow, this thing
That went off
this
the
got
rails,
off the
for a
rails,
sec.
man.
God, your laughter made me laugh harder. It was just like this
For real.
contagious laughter. Oh God.
Yeah, man, this is what happens when we take 2 weeks off altogether.
I know, guys. Go watch Oppenheimer. It's hilarious.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, he really surprised me in it. I didn't think Robert Downey Jr. I just haven't seen him in this role. I feel like maybe in a while. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of Robert Downey Jr., but just in a different way. And I'm so happy that he's a part of a movie at this level, so you can really see his range. I mean, he obviously killed it as Iron Man. He'll always be Iron Man to me. I thought he was incredible in Endgame too, but yeah, this was it was like the same but different, and it really works in it. So yeah, that was so good. It's one of the, but yeah, to your point earlier, I feel like this is one of those movies where you have to watch it at least once in theaters, and then if you don't watch it again in theater, like you don't go back again, it's fine. But I think you need to experience the first time in theaters, and then you can watch it at home, and then just kind of remember the feeling you get from watching it there the first time, because you're so right. The sound is used so incredibly well, and the score, and just some of the shots when you get to take it in at that level and that scope, it feels so much more impactful. But yeah, man. Oh, go! If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it in theaters. Both of them, I think, Barbie and Oppenheimer. But Oppenheimer for sure, at least one time in theaters. Yeah. Drake, what are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for. Yeah, I don't know what I'm waiting for. Probably some time off of work, and then I can go watch it.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I'm super excited to go eat
Yeah,
some
fair.
popcorn, sit down in a recliner, and
Oh yeah, I might have been the only person with Mochi Crunch in that theater.
Oh
So
yeah, so
Oh, hell
you
yeah.
get some crunchy crunchies,
They
huh?
don't sell that in the theater in Missouri. Weird.
they do not.
All right, we're moving on to. We kind of touched on a little bit on some Disney stuff. Haunted Mansion. This movie has an outstanding cast. Lakeith Stanfield, I think, Rosario Dawson, Owen Wilson, I think, is in it. Those are just some of the ones I know off the top of my head. But it does not seem to be performing in the box office like Barbie and Oppenheimer is. Scott, why don't you tell us what you thought about Haunted Mansion?
Yeah. So before going in, I kind of brushed over those or saw those reviews and like it's not doing too well, so I wasn't expecting too much out of it. But I actually really enjoyed it. Like it's a movie about a ride, so it's like how they do the Pirates of the Caribbean off the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Granted,
Great ride.
Pirates of the Caribbean had the whole pirate lore to work with, right? So it's like a real big world they can work with. This they're kind of stuck to this like mansion, but I feel like they did a really good job. I found it pretty funny. All the actors were great. It was nice seeing Owen Wilson being like, that classic
Wow.
Owen Wilson, like his throws in those like one-liners in there. I think he's funny, so I'm
Yeah.
laughing at him. Lakeith Stanfield had some funny moments too. Like he's a dramatic actor, and a lot of moments like he was pulling that out. I feel like he was a great lead. There were moments where he was tapping into like his tragic story and like what he's going through, and he's like able to pull those tears, and you're like, oh fuck, I feel for him. But there's a moment in this movie that's so funny. The little kid was playing with these action figures that kind of look like maybe like kind of like Marvel characters in a sense, like it was like his superheroes, and he's like, oh, do you have Action Guy? And he's like, what? He's like, Action Guy, Action Guy? He's like, I don't know what that is. And he's like, he holds a slipper or like a boot or something. And he's like, say it again, boy. Like he like does that. And then like, dude, I started laughing so I did not expect him to do that. And he's like, oh, you don't know? Oh, okay. And then just kind of brush over it. I was like, that was a funny thing to put in the movie. But there was a lot of cool nods to the ride. Like there's certain moments where like the chair was almost like the chair you sit in on the ride, like all the paintings
like
that were in
carriage
there.
kind of chair.
Yeah, there's a
thing.
moment where like the character gets like the house is kind of shooting them out of the house on that chair, and I'm like, oh, this is just like the ride. You're like going on a
Did
yeah,
they
a lot
have
of the
dancing
paintings.
Ghosts? Like
Yeah,
where
they
all
had
the ghosts
they had
kinda
all that. They had the
were doing a
organ.
ballroom dance thing.
And then Jared Leto played the you don't really know it's him, but he's the voice of the what is he? He's like the headless. What was his actual title? He's like the main villain in this, but
Oh, Jared Leto! Wow, did not know he was in the movie.
Is his
Yeah.
name Morbius or?
yeah, no, but he's like this ghost with like his head in a lantern sort of thing. But he's like the main bad ghost in it. But it's like that's taken from the ride. I believe that's the dude in the ride. It's like, I think he even says it in the movie, like you'll be back. And then there's even
Classic.
the ghosts at the end of the ride, the ghosts that are in the carriage with you, or whatever, in the little things. If you enter the house and you try and leave, a ghost will go with you and haunt you until you come back to the house. They'll like haunt you and they'll tell you like go back to the house. So like once you're there,
Whoa.
you can't leave. So that's why like by the time what is it, the Lakeith Stanfield's character comes in, like Owen Wilson is already there. Like so everyone who enters, they're like kind of just stuck there and they all like live in the living room. Oh, and then freaking Danny DeVito's in this, and he's very much like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Danny DeVito. Like
Oh,
he's just like
great.
this kooky old guy, and it's hilarious. So there were enough of those moments that were really fun and hilarious, and then enough nods to the ride. Very creative. I thought it was good. I mean, it's not like super amazing, but like for what it was based off of, and like the story they were able to tell in it, I thought it was really good. And it should be able to come out and streaming around Halloween time, so that'd be the
Tomorrow,
perfect
since it's
time to.
bombing.
Yeah, maybe, maybe. But I think it's only like a six week window or something, right? Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Something.
I
So-
think so.
Right around fall-ish, you'll be able to catch it on Disney Plus. If you've got kids and stuff, I definitely recommend going with them. I think they'd have a good time because there's even jokes for you to enjoy as an adult.
Yeah. Is it PG or is it PG-13?
It is PG-13.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Nice. Yeah, it's cool. It's good to know that it's better than what the internet is saying or like the reviews have been on it. I'll be honest, like I didn't have like a ton of motivation to go see it in theaters. But I was like, oh, okay, when that comes out on Disney Plus, definitely watching it. And that's probably why the whole Disney Plus model is like really kind of hurting Disney in general, along
I
with
think
strikes
so.
and everything else. But
Yep.
yeah, it looked fun, and the cast sounds amazing. You kind
Mm-hmm.
of sold me on it though. I mean, what would you rate it?
I think it's like a 7.
Okay,
Um,
out of 100.
7, huh? Out of 100? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not 1,000. It sucked. No, but for a family movie, it was like a 7.5. It's a family film. It's nice. Um, yeah, you can. I'm sure like it's way better than Morbius. I know we keep coming back to that. Like it's
The bar is
you know
real low with Morbius.
Morbius really let me down. It was like watching yeah, that movie came out from like a different time. Yeah, it was just like it was so bad.
It was like watching Daredevil or something
The time of
with Ben
empires.
Affleck.
Yeah, it was like that back then. It was good, but they're like oh, new Daredevil,
Do
and
you
then they
think
show us that. You're like,
Morbius
what?
was better than the Electro movie?
I don't even remember the
don't-
Electric
yeah.
movie,
For
so I'm
Garnet?
saying
Oh,
yes.
see, yeah, because I don't remember it either.
I remember that came out, but I do not remember that at
I don't
all.
even know if I watched it.
She's gonna reprise her role as
She is.
Elektra.
Yep, in Deadpool, out of all places too, which
Yeah.
is super kind of random.
That's
I
very
wonder if we
interesting.
get Ben Affleck. Probably not. I would say not till Secret Wars or Secret.
Yeah.
Secret Wars. Don't get me started on Secret Invasion. But yeah, this should be interesting. That was Haunted Mansion though. Yeah, sounds pretty good. I'll have to check it out. So last thing, this movie actually seems to be doing very well though, and I was in from the get-go listening to Seth Rogen talk about it. Having the kids all be in the same recording studio and having them be kids and seeing the way they interacted with each other, I thought was a refreshing take on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've always been a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. From I want to say the cartoons to the original live action movies, which are still really freaking good. If you haven't, go back and watch those, which was an indie film back in the day. I don't know, a little weird tidbit fact. But what did you think about this new iteration, Seth Rogen's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, Scott?
I really loved it. Like, I thought it was fucking good.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like the initial reaction we got from watching the trailer when it first came out, it like the movie lived up to that for me. The art is super amazing. I there's not like it seems like they took like that Into the Spider-Verse, like being able to like just kind of go for it with the art and like whatever. It's like this movie definitely has its own style. It really does feel like it's more hand drawn because like even the cars and the shapes of people aren't like exactly like the way it should be. Like there's like a van driving and like the top is like a little tilted this way and whatnot. So it's like very like artistic. The
Stylized.
kids are the kids were great. They're actually teenagers like you were saying, which is good, and it all really came through that way. The music was awesome. It's like the transition music gave me like those 80s like like Stranger Things ominous like the synthesizer kind of music.
Yeah.
But then it's also filled with like 90s hip hop, and then there's also like all these
plus.
references to like current day. Like these kids are like current teenagers. So they're referencing things that are viral now.
They
Yeah,
sing
all
a
All
lot
things they
of
see on the
mid,
internet. What was that?
mid and hip and say less kind of Gen X,
Kind
Gen
of like
Z lingo.
they weren't doing like weird like I know there's some weird Gen Z lingo now, but there were just certain nods. Like there was one like what is it? There was one that Daniel didn't know, but I knew. Daniel's my younger brother, but there's like I guess this guy in New York where you can order like a sandwich a particular way and you say it like the Aki way, and you're like
Okay.
oh, let me get it this, and he's like yeah, and like so there was a point where they're like let me get a bacon egg and cheese, let me get it, and they're like don't forget the bev, never never, and I'm like oh that's from that video, like there's this dude that does that. So there's a bunch of little references like like that in it. And like if you know, and then if not, it's still like it seems like you're watching a bunch of teenagers like referencing things you don't know what they're talking about. So it's
Right,
very
right.
much like that. They change a little things with the origin. Like the bad guy, like Superfly is not what's his name who ends in the comics who turns into the Fly. I forget his name.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm
I'm
kind
gonna
of
look it up right
forgetting
now. Baxter Stocksman. So like, he's played by um, Giancarlo
Oh, Giancarlo Esposito?
yeah.
Really?
So he's a voice for Baxter Stockman.
You didn't
who
want to mess
originally-
with that name
Yeah,
too,
dude.
huh?
I was gonna. Yeah. we gotta get
See in
moving.
your
I'm not gonna.
face was like,
Scott,
for
the
it.
name slaughterer.
I was like, here we go again. But in the comics and like in the video games and stuff, like he's the one who turns into like the fly guy. But in this one, he creates the ooze, and he had already turned a fly into like a mutant sort of thing, and he was like growing other creatures like Bebop, Rocksteady. What is it like? The Paul Rudd plays one of the characters. He's the Mondo Gecko, Ray Fillet. Like they have this whole like array of like mutants that's led by Superfly, who's voiced by Ice Cube. That totally fits. He's like this
Damn.
giant Superfly dude that's cool.
Yeah.
And like when every time he comes out, that song's plays, you know I'm Superfly, you know I'm Superfly, and I'm like, oh, this
Yeah.
works.
Nice.
But the origin of like Splinter teaching them is different than what we're used to. I'll just let you experience that. But he's voiced by Jackie Chan, which I'm like, oh, that's cool. Because like
Yeah.
we grew up knowing he's like an awesome martial artist, so it just makes sense.
Absolute legend. Yeah.
Yeah, and then April O'Neil's a little younger, but all the little changes were great. There's a lot of like, there's a bunch of Easter eggs in it, which I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch to catch them all. But the ones I caught were really
Pokemon.
cool. Very unique story, and it's called Mutant Mayhem, and there's a lot of Mutant Mayhem in it, which is pretty awesome. I feel like this movie lived up to it for me. Yeah, I loved it. I think you guys are gonna really love it too.
Yeah,
Hell
I
yeah.
want to watch it.
Yeah, I do. I mean, again, massive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan for the longest time. Yeah, by all accounts, like what they were doing with the marketing, the interviews I've seen on it, like it all looked really, really good. It's been an incredible year for animation, but it did make me think, which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle was your favorite? And we'll start with Drake.
It was Donatello. I
Donatello.
enjoyed me.
Wow.
I liked the. No wait, Donatello. No wait, Donatello's
That's
the
the
blue one,
purple
right?
one.
Oh no, the purple one.
Oh,
And he's the
God
bow
damn it,
staff.
Drake.
Jake,
Sorry,
God,
I-
you don't even know the
Sorry.
Teenage Ninja Turtles. Okay.
No, I like the
next.
purple one. I like the purple one because I like the
No,
bow
he was
staff
the
and I
Red
liked how he
Ranger,
used
right?
technology and how he was smart. That's what I liked about the purple guy. Okay, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
Okay.
Blue is Leo.
Okay, thank you. Oh,
I was
yeah.
a Mikey always. Michelangelo.
Mikey.
Pizza
Yeah.
Man.
He's just so goofy, free going. Yeah, love him.
Nice. I love all the turtles, but I think I've always been split between Leonardo and Raphael. There's that like, okay, I'm gonna do the right thing, I'm gonna, take charge, do that, and then there's also like, yeah, but I'm pretty angry, and I just kind of want to like
Yeah.
lash out and do shit. So I think,
Ronin.
yeah, I think, yeah, I've been torn between those two. Definitely curious to hear what other people out there, who their favorite turtle is. If you want, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or comment on YouTube. Tell us who your favorite turtle is. We'll hit you back. And yeah, maybe we'll get you on and you could talk about your experience with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, if you've watched it as well.
Yo.
But hell yeah, man, I'm super sold on it. It looks so good. I've seen, like I said, so many interviews, and Seth Rogen, everything that guy touches recently too has seemed to be gold. He's been doing Invincible. He did Platonic on Apple TV. He has been doing this Mutant Mayhem.
Yeah. And he
Man,
even did
he's-
a Preacher. It was on TBS or something.
yeah.
It was another like comic book.
comic book. Yeah, he seems
Origin,
to be a
yeah.
massive comic book fan. So
Which is
I'm
cool
all
because
for
it
that.
feels like the people behind this movie were really all about like, let's throw all the like everything I love about comics. Let's make sure we fit everything in there. Like like it was just like it seemed like a lot of love went into it, and more love than a cash grab, which was great.
Nice. Hell yeah, man.
And he plays he's a voice for Bebop, the
oh, perfect.
the warthog, which is funny because he did Pumbaa. So it's like
I'm like, did they make
Yeah.
it look like Pumbaa?
no, he looks like Bebop, but it's totally
okay,
Seth Rogen's
okay.
voice. You just
Nice.
and you just
Why does that always work? Why does it work? Jesus. Okay, he was in Mario. That crushed it. Also, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just a solid year, I want to say, for animation. Like 2023 has been
Yeah.
between Across the Spider-Verse, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mario, Nimona. I thought was fantastic.
Yep.
Fuck, man, animation's been killing it this year. So much good stuff. yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of it on my end. Anything else you guys want to say for this episode?
Uh, Nah, dude. Just if you have any family on Maui, reach out to them. There's tons of videos. The devastation's real.
Yeah.
So, always tip your local firefighter. Only you can prevent forest fires, all that jazz.
Yep. Yep.
Well said. Scotty.
Yep. Everything you guys said, and keep in touch with your family.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. Hear that. Yeah. Good words to live by. And then the last thing I want from Scott is to say that name of Heisenberg from.
Okay, let's
Oh
go
my
for it
God,
again.
no.
Let's go. Here's redemption time.
Okay, for sure. Matthias. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mathais.
So we're working with
Okay.
the SCHWEIGHOFER.
Off to a decent start.
So Schweihofer? It's the Hofer.
All right.
God.
Thanks
Fuck,
for
dude.
sticking it with
Let's
us.
Google it.
Moving on.
Moving on.
The Joystick Show. The Joystick Show.